Hello, my friends! Well, here I made you a little overview of what you have learned so far. These are all the 8 directives and magic commands and stuff that we did until now. What we did until now was without one line of JavaScript. So this was important for me to show you what you can do with these little directives already. What we learned until now is maybe 1/3 of the whole commands and directives and stuff of Alpine.js. And by the way, I attached this little presentation as a PDF file to this lecture in case you wanna download it and print it out. Depending on your previous programming experience, I hope that you are at least a little bit impressed what Alpine.js can do. I personally, for many years, I did everything with jQuery. I am a PHP programmer. In my normal job, I work with a huge PHP vanilla PHP application without framework, without anything. And whenever I wanted to have some interactive features on the front end, for many years I used jQuery. But maybe you have seen already that compared to jQuery, some tasks are much easier to implement with Alpine.js. All right? You don't have to do something like here, for example, like listen in this way to a button's click, okay? So you have to address the button's ID and then you have to use this click function and then you can do whatever, hide something, show something, save something in the database or whatever, In Alpine.js, the button has its own life, because in Alpine.js, you put the add click event directly on the button. That's just a very simple example. And then for me, it was also like this, that at some point, my jQuery code became so long and so difficult to maintain also that I knew I had to change something. And what I did then is that I switched to Vue.js. And Vue.js is like super powerful, compared to jQuery. But also it needs some time to learn. Okay, it needs more time to learn than Alpine.js because it's a little bit more complicated. That starts with the installation itself. Because in Vue.js, you always have to declare a component before you start to do anything. A component in a very simple way looks, for example, like this here, okay? In Alpine.js, you don't have to do this. But anyhow, if you have already previous experience with Vue.js, you will have seen that there is some similarities. For example, in Vue.js, you have vbind here, which is the same thing basically as xbind in Alpine.js. Or for example, here you have vif, which is basically the same thing as xif. So you can see a little bit the development of tools here. So I think that Caleb, the guy who invented Alpine.js, he wanted to implement something that is similar, powerful as Vue.js in a sense, but he wanted to make it easier to implement for the programmer. So back to the course. We finished now the first theoretical learning section of the course. And now in the next course section, we will have time to practice. I titled it, I will give you 3 little challenges to practice what you have learned so far. And if you are in a hurry and you just want to learn all the commands of Alpine.js, you also can skip this section, of course, and continue directly with section 3, which will be the part 2 of the learning experience. So wherever we see each other again, I look forward to see you again and to continue this exciting journey with you. See you there.